Hello? Hello? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you're
Yes,
audible.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, can we start? Everybody is present here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, hello everybody. Today we are going to learn about the Python. Okay. So, are you all aware of the language Python?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, uh, today in this lecture we are just going to learn about the Python and the uses and the basic coding of the Python. Okay. So I have shared one module with module 1 IPYNB form and one PDF form, right, in your TA Data Analytics classroom. Please open that in your Google Collaboratory. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, open it. Ma'am, can we just open it in Jupyter Notebook in our system natively?
If you have a Jupyter notebook, you can open there, or if you are you don't have that, then you can just use a Collaboratory, Google Collaboratory.
Oh,
So all of you have opened to that module 1.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm opening. Just a second.
Okay. So while you are opening, I'm just wanted to tell you about the Anaconda installations. If you people are suffer from the internet issues, you can just use a Google Collaboratory to run your modules or run your Python programs. Otherwise, system, you can just download an Anaconda, where you can get like a Jupyter notebook and some basic Python like a toolkits. For that, you have to just go to the Anaconda website, and according to your platform, if you are using Google, like a Windows, you can download for Windows, or for Linux, you can download for Linux. And after installation, you can just use Google, like a Jupyter notebook for your uh, Python running programs. Okay. Okay. All of you are here.
Yes, ma'am.
So Python actually is the programming language which is at present is in very hype, and everybody is using and having a race to learn Python, as it is having a like a very large libraries and very flexible code is there, right? If you've stuck anywhere, you can just search for it and you'll find many number of solutions for that. Python actually is for used for many things, like creating web applications, and just to use alongside software to create workflows, even for database system to connect different database system, and reading and modifying the files. You can easily use Python, and at present, like a big data is like very high. So for handling the big data and the complex mathematics, you can use the Python. Even like a very um, for each and everything, Python is having a libraries where you can just import those libraries and use like a one line of command to work for to compute the complex mathematical functions, and and work through it. Okay. Now, as I'm just wanted to tell you about the basics of the Python, the very first thing is to learn when you used to learn is the print something, right? So here, for the very first thing is the print hello. Okay. In Google Collaborative, whenever you want to run each cell, you have to press simultaneously Shift and Enter. Okay. So for the first cell, when you want to learn, when you want to run this print hello world command, you just need to press Shift and Enter, and after a second, it will give the output. Like here, it's given the hello world. Okay. Parallelly, you people can also like run your modules in your system so that you can better understand. And if you're like unable to understand anything, you can just pause me and ask a question. Okay. So it's a very basic thing just to print something. Like if you want to print something else, like maybe, for example, your name, you can just print and give in a like a double quotes, like your name. Here I'm just typing a data analytics. After that, when you shift and enter, it will print that as an output. Okay. And in case if you're if you forgot to give something, right? So at that time, it will show some errors in Google Colabs like this, like a Python print data analytics. Here it has given some arrow. Okay, end of line while scanning a string literal. It's a syntax error. It's already given here. Okay. And in Google Collaboratory, one you have given a one chance. If you like want to search about this error, you can just click this search Stack Overflow. It will directly redirect to this Stack Overflow, and for that problem, many solution is given, so you can just find there. Okay. So here you have to give close this line, and then when you will run, it will show the output data analytics. Okay. After this, I'm just switching over the basic mathematical operators. As you all know, the very basic thing when you go to the school is the like multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction like things. And so directly in Python, you can directly add or subtract those things in this each cell. Like for addition, I'm just adding a 50 plus 60, which is given the 110. And next for multiplication, it's given a for 90 multiplied by 20 is giving some 1800. Similarly, for subtraction, 100 minus 10 is giving a 90. And for division, it's giving a 100 for 900 upon 9. Okay, so these are the very basic mathematical operations which you people need to use further for your data analytics programmings. Okay, and if you people anywhere like found like your people are not able to understand, just stop me and ask the questions. Okay. Okay. So the next line is the comment of line. Like whenever you're writing some program or some modules like things. So for your understanding purpose, if you want to give a side comment or you want to comment some lines, so for a single line comment, you just need to put a hash. Okay. So if you put a hash, that then that line will be in a green, and when you run that cell, that green line will not be appeared as your output. That will be only at your code side. Okay. And if you want to give a multiple line as in like a comment, so you can just use a 3 quotes at the beginning and at the end. Okay. And in between whatever lines you are given, that all the lines will be in a comment line. And the next thing which we are going to learn is about the variables. Are you all aware of the variables? Like, have you people learned about the variables in a C or C++ language?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the same
Yes,
thing is
ma'am.
there. Yeah. Okay, so the same thing is there here in a Python variables too. Variables are mainly used to like store the values or some mainly mathematical values or string values, whatever you want to store. The variable is the main thing. Okay, so different type of variable is there, like a string, like a string, float, integer, character. These are the types of variables. Okay. So this here I'm giving just a basic example. Here I'm just storing a 5 in x, where x is this variable, which is like storing the value 5. Similarly, the y, which is storing the string. John is the name. Okay, it's a string. So y is storing that string, and after that I'm just printing the value of x. So for print x, it's giving only 5. But when I and when I'm here for print x and y, it's giving a 5 and John. Okay. After that, like the same similar type of example here I'm giving. Here for the as I told you earlier that if you want to give some comments, you just need to put a hash before that line. So here I'm just I have just put a hash. You can see here, and that's a comment line here. Okay. So here also example is there. I'm just storing a 4 to the x, and after that I'm just overwriting that x value to the data analytics. Okay, so the final value will be x. Okay, for the first time I was storing a 4 in x, but after that I have just overwrite the x value to the data analytics. So the final value on x will be data analytics. So here when I was printing the print of x, it's giving a data analytics. Okay, so overwriting is allowed here.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Okay.
Ma'am, like if we put semicolon at the end of each line, then also it is running. It's not giving an error. So why it is happening?
Semicolon.
Yes, then also it's running.
Yeah, that's Python is having some freedom. Like it will not consider it as like your actually the semicolon means is the end of the line. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
For the C also you can like when you may have read that semicolon, it means the end of the thing.
Yes,
So here
ma'am. There
also
is a
it's considered
compulsion.
as that's the thing. Here also Python is considering it as a end of the thing. So that's running fine. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the next thing is typecasting. Okay. Uh, um, anyone like aware of the typecasting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can you just explain what is the typecasting?
Ma'am, it's
But
like basically
there are
converting
two types
from.
of typecasting, no, implicit and explicit.
Yeah.
One is done by the computer itself, like when we divide one int by another int in Python, it is converted to a float automatically, if I'm not wrong. And one is explicitly when we force a variable to be typecasted from one type to another.
Yeah. So here we are just like as you said, two type of typecasting is there to convert like a data type. Okay. For all those who are not aware of this, please listen carefully. Typecasting means for one type of data, we are converting it to another form. Okay. So this is called a typecasting. As your friend said, two type of typecasting is there. One is implicit typecasting, and second is the explicit typecasting. Okay. So here we are using just a explicit typecasting, where 3, as we all know, is the integer value. Okay, so we are typecasting this integer value as a string by giving a command string and giving this value 3 on it. So in Python, we just used to do this kind of typecasting. It's a first is the string typecasting, and the second one is the integer typecasting, and the third one is the float typecasting. Okay, and we're just printing these values so that you can just differentiate between the values, how these values are like printed. For the string, it's giving us simply 3, and integer also it's giving it simply 3. But for the float value z, it's giving a 3.0. Okay, so it's the difference with. The similar example is there here also. You can just like all these things you can just at the end of this session I will share one like question so that you can practice these things in one module. Okay, this is for you, and this is for practice purpose, and then next I will share that I'll give you the question so that you can just use these things in your that question. Okay, and the next thing is the type function. Here, like here, for x we have given the 5 as in some value 5, okay, and the y which we are storing a John, and we want to know what is the type of x. So we are just given the type x value, and its output is class int. Okay, so the type of x is integer. Similarly, the type of y is John. So whenever in any like for the data preparation time in like machine learning or data science, whenever you used to convert one type of data into another, some difficulty you get in between. Okay, so for that time, the type function is very useful to know what is the type of data so that we can convert into another. And it's a very simple thing, like you are not compulsory to initiate each and every variable in every line. Okay, you can multiply initiate all the variables at one line, just like here only x, y, z, all the three variables are initiated at the time at only one line. Like x is given the value orange, y is given the value banana, and z is given the value cherry. Okay, so all these three values are assigned at only one line, and for all these three, as you get the output orange, banana, and cherry. The next thing which we are switching over is the if else. Okay. Have you people like like
Ma'am,
yeah
I have
yeah
a doubt.
okay
Ma'am, in the above one,
yes
they are in, how, if you want, how we can get in the same line, means orange, banana, cherry, the same line. But I want to give the separate values only.
I didn't get you. Okay.
Means like, see, if you can write x equal to orange, banana, cherry, then the output will be like on the same line, no?
What you're saying, like x is equal to this.
Yes, ma'am. That quotations, if you remove the quotations also, yeah, then what will be the output?
You can just run and
Yeah, yeah, right. So if we kept x, y, and z. You got us three different lines, no?
mm.
But how to get
But
a single line?
okay, so here what happened, that when we are orange, banana, and cherry three at a time to the one variable only, then x is a type of variable, like an array type of variable, which is storing all the three values. Okay, but when we are giving a x comma y comma z, it means it's this system is already known that three variables are there, and all the three variables are going to get some values on it. Okay, so x is assigned to orange, like a first to first, and the second to second, and third to third, like x to orange, and y to banana, and z to cherry.
Yes, ma'am. What's the output then? Should I just yeah. Now we got it three different lines now. So these three different lines means, are these are three different lines, or in a one line, orange space banana space cherry, will get in the same line, no? Means, for example, in C programming we have something like /n, so that it will come to the next line.
Actually, in print n, whenever you used to print something with the print command, okay, so implicitly at the end of this print command, one /n is there in Python.
Okay.
That's why for each and everything you will get a
Understood.
in a new line. Okay. Now the if else command. Okay. So here Python support the usual logical conditions from mathematics, like double equals to, which is for the comparison purpose, and not equals to is for not and equals to, this kind of thing. For less than, and for the greater than or equals to, for greater than and less than or equals to. This kind of like these are the basic logical conditions, and many more conditions are there which you can use in the like a comparison kind of things. Okay. Bitwise logical operator is there, logical conditions are there, normal comparison are there. So you can use those conditions inside the if condition. Okay. So here, the very first example which we are here taking is a comparison between the b and a variable. Okay. So in a we are giving a 33, we are storing a 33, and for b we are storing a 200, and we are just comparing between those two, that which is the greater variable. So if b is greater than a, as in this case it's a true, so it will print b is greater than a. Okay. But if we'll change the condition as b is less than a, then nothing will be printed, as we have not given the else condition. Okay.
Ma'am, why the colon is used in third statement, ma'am?
Sorry, can you repeat it again?
In the third line, why colon is used, ma'am, after b is greater than a?
Okay, a colon. Okay. In Python, we generally give the in C or C++, for every if and else condition, we used to give a curly bracket. So right. But
Yes, ma'am.
in Python, we don't need to give a explicit curly brackets. We just used to give colons at the end of that line, and after that, condition is very important thing. Okay, if you will not give a proper space after the if condition, it means those lines which we are inside the if. Okay, for that we need to give proper indentation or proper space before that line. If you will not give that space before print, then let's see what happens. That error will be given. Okay. So proper indentation or proper spacing before the line in this statement is very important. And the next thing which we are going through is the indentation only. Like here, we are using the if and else condition both. So as we have assigned x is equals to 41, right? And the first condition for the if statement, you just used to give if and then whatever condition which you are wanted to give, and then the colon. And the next line will be after the proper spacing, which is called the indentation. Okay. So if x will be greater than 10, it will automatically print about 10. And after it's again checking the condition whether x is greater than 20 or not. Okay. If this condition is true, then again it will print and also about 20. Okay. But if and else, second if and else conditions are inside the if condition here, which is the first if. So if x is greater than 10, only then it will go inside and if and else condition will be checked. Okay. So if x will be true, then definitely else will be the false condition. So here, when we just ran that cell, we got about 10 and also about 20. Okay. Now, is that clear? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next thing is for loops. Okay. So, have you got all like an idea about the if and else conditions in a Python, particularly in Python? So maybe knowing this if and else condition in context of a C or C++, the same thing is there, but only some like a syntax is different. So that's the main thing you have to learn here. Okay. The next thing is the for loops. For all of this, mainly for iterating or over a sequence things, we just use it. If you want to print 1 to 10 numbers from 1 to 10, so we cannot write each and everything from print 1, print 2, print 10. That is like a that will be that will take more time and like a tiredness. Okay, so for that we just use like a loops called for loops or while loops kind of things. Here we are just reading a for loops. In this example, like fruits like apple, banana, and cherry, which we are giving it to the list fruits. Okay, it's a type of data which is known as a list in Python. So fruits is the list type of data, list type of variable, which is storing a apple, banana, and cherry on it. Okay, so if we want to print all the variables inside the list variable, so for that we are giving the command for x in fruits. Okay, so x will print each and every uh, like uh, uh, like fruits inside this list. Okay, for the first it has printed, and for the second loop it has printed as banana, and for the third loop it has printed as a cherry. Okay, understood? And the next thing is the for x in banana. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you repeat the previous example?
Which part you want, like for the first list part or the second one, for part?
Second one, ma'am.
Okay, so you just understand what is the fruits, like a list data type of variable. In fruits variable, okay, it's a list type of data. List, it means it can store multiple names inside it. Okay, here for list, whenever we used to write a list data set, we just give this square brackets. Inside that we used to write whatever things which we want to print. Okay, if we give 3 inside it, it's a like integer variable. Again it will run apple, 3, banana, cherry. So the first part is data type of this variable, which is a list. Okay, so as apple is a string, banana is a string, and cherry is a string. All these 3 strings are written in a double quotes. And because it's 3 is an integer, so it's normally we have written it. So I'm just removing it here. The next part is for loop. Okay, so x for this looping on this fruit list data variable, we are just giving a x in fruits. It means x will print each and every fruit inside this fruit data variable. So for the first time, for x is equals to 1, we can say it will print apple. For the x is equals to 2, we can say it's printing a banana. For x is equals to 3, we can say it's printing a cherry. Okay?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
if we don't apply the square brackets, will it show error?
You can just check now.
Ma'am, it is not showing, and you have mentioned that it is necessary. Yes, it's not showing that.
Yeah. So the data type of this variable will change here. Actually, previously it was when I was writing explicitly square bracket. The data type of this fruit is list. Okay, but in this time it is a array.
Okay,
Okay, so that's why it's not showing any error.
okay.
Ma'am, how do we do if I wanna print only first two fruits?
First,
First two fruits, or the fruits which starts with a vowel or anything or consonant.
Yeah, you can do that too, but that's better if you try first, because I'm just giving it the basic things so that everyone could understand. That's the only thing. You can just try once. I can I'll give the examples after completing these things. Okay. For the first time, have you understood this?
Yeah, understood this, but okay.
Okay. Because I have to complete this one because half an hour is already gone. I'll give that example too. But my first concern is, have you understood all you people have understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll come to you. Okay. The next thing is here. For X in banana, we are just printing. Banana is the string. Okay. Which we are given in double quotes. So uh, I just want to print each and every characters on this string. So for X in banana, I'm just writing for this whole loop, it will print each and every character. In previous one, it was for each and every things it was printing apple, banana, and cherry, and the next one is for each and every character it's printing. Okay, here. So B A N A N A, all the characters are printed by a for loop. You can also use this like a printing of characters. Okay. So the next thing is here. The next example which we are I'm using here, if inside the for loop. Okay. For those who are like unaware of this languages, basic languages. So here, for the first thing, which we are using a for loop inside for printing the each and every fruit inside the fruit, this fruit variable. Okay. After printing this apple or banana, it's like checking the condition. If X is equals to banana, just break the loop. Break is the command. Okay. Break is the statement. We can stop the loop before it has stopped through all the items.
Ma'am, I would like to interrupt. Ma'am, if we remove that bracket from a list declaration, then it presumes it as a tuple. I just checked.
Okay, type of a fruit you just checked.
Yeah, if we remove that bracket from the list declaration, then the data type changes to tuple. If we remove that square bracket from end and the front.
Okay.
When we first remove now, it will show list, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So tuple is also the type of a data, like a data type in Python, like a array. Array is there. One list is there. Tuple is there. Okay, and similarity is there. As you know about the array only, if you're aware of the C or C++. Okay, the list is the same thing, is some kind of variable, like a data type where it stores in a square bracket form. We have to just start that, and inside that it can like we have to give it within a colon, sorry, within a like a comma to store on it. Similarly, the tuple can also store where we have to just separate all these characters from this comma only. Okay, if we want to store again, it can store multiple things, like a 5 I just has just given here. It will store some characters. Again, it will store all these things inside it. Okay, so the tuple and sorry, I was just giving you the wrong information. That I was saying the array, but it was similar to the array. Okay, tuple is similar to the array. It can store multiple things, like as a array can store things on it. Similarly, the tuple can also store on things on it. But the data type here is array. Sorry, tuple. Okay. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
The similar examples I have given here, like the second, as the previous two I have just told you. Here, the main thing I just wanted to tell you about the break statement. Okay, the break statement is like you're going to use like in future for your analytics programming purpose. If you want to break the loop, you just use the break statement. Okay, here I'm just using the condition if x is equals to banana. Here double equals to, it means comparing between the comparison between the x and banana. Okay, if the value of x will be banana, then the condition will be broken and it will come out of the loop. Okay, and if it has printed both apple and banana, because the for loop will run for all, for all the three. That's why it was apple, banana, and cherry. Okay, so the as it's showing a apple and banana only, because for loop is running for 2 times, because when the x will be banana, the break condition will condition will be true and it will come out of the for loop, so the cherry will not be printed. Okay, and if I'll just put here banana first, the apple, then only banana will be printed. Okay, the main thing here I just want to clear about the break statement. Okay, the next thing in this example, as you the fruits is the, here is a list, and the same example, but here I'm just emphasizing more on continue statement here. Okay, the continue statement, we can like stop the current iteration of the loop and continue with the next. Okay, so here when I was running here, it will print for the first time x in fruits. Okay, so it's like apple. If x is equals to banana, it means that condition is false, so printing a value of x, which is a apple. Okay, and the next thing is x will be banana, but for banana, as we have given the condition, if x is equals to banana, then continue, it means keep that iteration and go to the next. Okay, so that's why x is jumping over to the cherry. For x in is equals to cherry, the condition will be false and it will print cherry. Okay, so here the continue statement, it means it will skip that particular value and go to the next value of x. Okay, it's a similar example here. We just have given the we have just printed for the data variables using the x in variables. Okay, but here we can use printing of the value within the range. Like I have just given the for x in range. Range is the function which I have given here. X ranging 6. It means it will print from 0 to 5. Okay. For whenever you use a range, it used to start from 0 and end at for 6 it's ending at 5. For 10 it will end at 9. Similarly, at one step less. Okay. So it's just printing from for range value, it's just printing from 0 to 5. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can just see it. Here the main thing I was just saying you about the range values. Okay. And the next thing is looping. Okay, loop inside the loop. Here in the next example, I have just given the values on edge and fruits. Here edge, red, big and tasty is stored. Okay, Similarly, the apple, banana, and cherries are stored in the fruits. Okay. So nested loop, it means loop inside the loop. Here for x and h, for each value and h, another loop will run like a y in fruits. Okay. So it will print x and y. So for the first value, red and apple, red and banana, red and cherry. All these things are printed. Okay. Loop inside the loop means for each and every value, it's running the second loop. Okay. Clear? Like, am I clear? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. The next thing is the pass. Main thing I just want to like tell you about here is the pass command. Here for loops for x in 0, 1, and 2. Okay. I just want to print the values of 0, 1, and 2 on the list. Okay. But I'm giving this statement pass, which is just giving a like a iteration to the next step without doing anything. So that's the main thing which I just want to tell you about. The next thing is the while loops. For loop, I think everybody has understand and got a clear, some idea about the for loops. Similarly, while loop is there. Okay, for the while loop, we just have given some examples here. I'm just initiating the I is equals to 1 and then again giving the condition over the while loop. Okay, while I is less than 6. Okay, whenever the I is less than 6, that condition will be true and then it will go inside this while body. Okay, the indentation, for all these things you have to make clarification about the indentation inside the body of that loop. Okay, so here for I is less than 6, I'm just printing a print of value of I. Okay, and I'm giving the increment on I's values. So for when the I will greater than 6 or equals to 6, the condition is false. So that from there it will come out of the loop. Okay, that's why I just printing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Similarly, here while can also be used with the else condition. Okay, here what is going on in a for the first while, it's just check condition. If the condition will be true, it will go inside the loop. Otherwise, it will come out of the loop and print the else condition. Here for I is less than 6. Okay, it's printing a 1 to 5 values. But for when I became 6, it came out of the while loop and printed the I is no longer less than 6 in else condition. Okay. The next thing is array here. It's a data type which I was telling you previously. Okay. An array is a spatial variable which can hold more than one value at a time. Okay. Here, if you have a list of items, like here, I have just given the car 1 is equals to Ford, car 2 is equals to Volvo, and car 3 is equals to BMW. Storing the cars in a single variable could look like this, okay? And if I want to loop through the cars and find a specific one, then and what if you had not 3 cars but had 300 cars? Here I have just given the each and every car to the variables, right? So it's more time taking, it's hectic to do it. So what if I just want to store 300 cars on a variable? So for that comes the array comes in a picture. Okay, there. So for all these things, we can use a array here, like in the next example, we have just given the all these values on cars. Okay. So here just we have stored Ford, Volvo, or BMW on the cars. Here cars as an array we are storing. Okay, and that for each and every value, we are just printing a cars of 0 is equals to Ford, cars of 1 will be Volvo, cars of 2 will be BMW. And array will be stored in an indexed manner. For the first variable, it will be printed, its index value will be 0, and from that, it can go like whatever number you have, things will be stored on that. Okay, so for this cars, the index value is 0, 1, and 2, which is the total index is 3. Okay, so one amongst you was asking about what if I just want to print 1 and 2 only, one variable or second variable only. For that case, you can just use this index values of that value within a for loop or whatever condition which you want to give on it. Okay. The next thing is the length command. If I want to if I wanted to know if the array size is very large, and if I want to know about what is the length of that particular array. So for that, I have just I can just use length command to know about the length of the cars. Okay. Already we can use this as previously we have just looked over the looping on the like a list variable or in a tuples. Okay. But similarly, here also in array also we can just use a looping on that. The next thing here, I just yeah.
Now, what is difference between arrays and tuples?
Arrays and tuples. Am I clear? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So array always used to store the same kind of data. Like here. Hold a second. Okay. String. As array, you like all can know, like it's always used to store the homogeneous data, the same kind of data on it. Okay, so here I can just use like I was just storing a string variable, even like an integer variables, or can be stored, and you can just access in a homogeneously way. If you want to access using the index value, you can just use. For tuples, actually, I don't have a clear idea. I will like look for it, and I'll come to you. Okay. But as I'm aware of that, it can work similar way, but it's not a that it can always use a homogeneous data. It can also store a non-homogeneous data, and it could be accessible from anywhere, like from front to end. If you will learn in a data structure, right? So for that, you have to access each and every elements of that like a data type. So on that time, here in this array, you have indexed value, so you can access each and every variable using those index values. But in a tuples, like index value, like I'm not aware of exactly that, but I'm just knowing that it can store non-homogeneous data. And if you want more information, I'll like for the next class, I'll just come to you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The next thing is the append command. Okay. Append command is mainly used to like if you want to add more data at the time of run. Okay. At the time of run, if you want to add more data on that particular data set, like variables, like here cars is a array variable, okay. But at the time of run, only I want to add Honda on it. So I'm using the append command to add Honda on cars. Okay. So when I'm like printing a print cards, it's printing all these four values inside this cars variable. Okay. Similarly, if I want to remove some data, remove some value from cards as it's a array. So I can just use a pop command. It will come out of that cards as it is stored as in a stack. Stack you will learn in a like first or second semester, I don't know. Stack. From there you can just pop. It means it's removing that particular value from that stack. It means deleting that value. Okay. So for the deleting or deleting of that particular value, you can just use a pop command, or by giving their index value. As I just want to remove Volvo from cars, so I'm just giving its index value within the pop command. So it's removing a Volvo from cars. Similarly, remove commands can also be used, but within a remove command, you have to write about that particular element which you want to remove. Here, as I have written a Volvo. Okay. Similarly, many more built-in functions are there, as here append command, as we have seen here. Then clear command can also be used to remove all the elements from the list. Similarly, copy command can also be used to copy the list. Count command to number of elements, just to count the numbers of elements with the specified values. Okay. And similarly, extend, index, insert, pop and remove, as we have seen. You all are assigned to use all this built-in function to use. Okay. So we have seen the remove command, pop command, and append command. Append this built-in functions. All other you people have to use. Okay. And write one like you can just try to write some basic Python program to use these commands. Okay. So all these things are clear. Hello.
Ma'am, what's the difference between remove and pop?
Okay, remove and pop. Both actually work in a similar way, but the thing is, the pop is mainly used in context of a stack. Stack is the data, data. When you will learn data structure, okay. So there you will find a stack, link, circular link, and kind of many data structures where stack is the one thing. Okay. So whenever you store some values inside the array, it's stored as in stack form. So pop is the command on that context. Okay. But remove is like for normal people, as it's a very high language program. It's simple English. So for that, it's given a remove command. No difference is there. But you just have to know about these things. You can just use a remove command as it is a more easy to use and to remember. But pop is there in that context, in a stack context.
Ma'am, but in stack we remove only topmost element, but you have removed the middle element. How?
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Actually, nice observation. I was not taking care of that middle element. Yeah, that's right. But here just a pop is used to remove things only, because we can just use 0, 2, 1, 2 or 2 as an index value to remove those values. Like here, pod is removed, and it will one already sent 2. So BMW will be removed. So pop is like command is there only, I think, because no difference is there. Remove can also be used like that only. If you will write here Ford, it will remove Ford, and Volvo and BMW will be there only. So I think same is there, but I was giving the wrong explanation.
I think pop is used with index and remove is used with the value what that index contain.
Yeah. here you just need to give that index value, and here the value proper element is need to be given for the remove. Yeah, that's the like a right explanation, I think. Yeah, you are right. Is there anything else like you want to like ask, or you people have not understood anything? So that's the only thing for today, today's lecture. That's the module 1. And for the next lecture in module 2, okay, we will learn about the basic libraries like a SciPy libraries, where you have to learn the NumPy libraries, okay, the Pandas libraries, and SciPy within that, within the scikit-learn libraries. Inside that scikit-learn libraries, you have 3 main basic libraries, which is the Pandas, NumPy, and SciPy. Amongst these 3 libraries, we have to learn about the basic functions which we are given on NumPys. NumPys are mainly used to handle the matrix and all things, and similarly pandas are used, and the SciPy is for the visualization of the data on like a graphical way or in like in a mathematical way. So for the next module we'll look over that, and using this normal module 1, you people are like just run this module 1 by your own, and I'll suggest to like write more programs using this if else command or for loop commands, so that you could get a better understanding of this loops and the basic Python, so that you can switch to the next libraries importing and using of the NumPy and pandas kind of things. Okay. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's it from my side. Is there any question, or like anybody want to say something? Okay. So let's conclude this session for today. Okay. Thanks everyone.